Hey guys, welcome back to a new series, but this time for Fallout New Vegas, and today we got some mods that are new and almost critical for your return to New Vegas as you relive your childhood. Unfortunately, that doesn't count for me since I just got the game a few weeks ago, and I've been playing. And also one just quick disclaimer, if the quality of my game improves as this video goes on, like you see a lot of changes, it's because I'm adding more mods. But let's jump right into this so I don't waste too much of your weekend. First mod up is 360 movement. So I'll be the first to admit that this mod isn't exactly new, it's about 3 years old, but this mod allows for you to basically move your character in circles. No RPG game, if we can consider Fallout New Vegas a RPG, is right without being able to move in circles. This mod has two options though, one for 360 movement no matter what you're doing, or 360 movement unless your weapon is drawn, which is what I'm currently using. Not that I really fight in third person though, because that is extremely hard in New Vegas. But this game just didn't feel complete to me without this super simple function. To pair with this mod, we have Enhanced Movement. This is an all-in-one movement expansion covering movement bug fixes and expanding on other movements, such as sneaking, enhancing on the sprint, and so much more. It makes it actually feel like this has revived New Vegas for me. The reason I recommend this mod also is because it also just got patched for 360 movement. So now you can move in circles and also experience brand new movement that you couldn't in New Vegas, making the controls actually feel a little interactive. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I came from newer games like modded Skyrim and Fallout 4, it was a little weird coming back to these older controls, but with these mods it's definitely improving. New Vegas is definitely one of those mods that you had to be there to experience it when it first came out, and I missed that, so it's a little bit of the enjoyment gone, but I'm definitely enjoying my time playing it now. This next mod is completely optional, just thought I'd mention it, but this mod is called Pipboy Holo Panel. This essentially makes it so instead of pulling up a real Pipboy now, it will display a holographic on your screen. There is two options for this mod though, one fully replaces the Pipboy, and one just replaces it for the power armor. I prefer just the power armor only version, because the Pipboy in New Vegas is a little special, but this is the newer version of this mod though. There is an older version that you want to avoid, but I will link the newer one in my description, otherwise it wouldn't really make sense. Especially since this one got reworked to perfection and I downloaded it based on recommendations. The next mod is called New Vegas Animation Overhaul, Guns. This mod completely reworks first person animations for guns in New Vegas, and based on the description for A Tale of Two Wastelands, which I actually haven't gotten to yet. Let me know if Fallout 3 is actually worth for you visiting in 2024. Everything about this mod though can be configured and chosen in an installation, so if something looks terrible and you want it gone, then you have the power to, but I doubt you won't love every single one of these animations. And I feel like I have to state this for some reason. This is just for guns, nothing else, so if you experience everyone being naked in your game, it was not this mod. The person saying that would not be named. Oh, and also make sure you read the requirement tab for every mod that you get. I am begging you, because otherwise it will not work, and you will complain. The next mod is called Remesh. This is just a little mod for people looking for something a little extra in their Fallout without completely changing up their terrain. It completely remodels the grass mesh so it looks more like actual grass. It won't turn your wasteland into a lush landscape though, so that's the plus of it. Up next we have a new mod, Ideal Variety ESPless. This mod allows for you to see new ideals in your game as you wander your wasteland. This mod is for NPCs only though, not specifically for the player, but I'm sure there's a way you can find to give it to yourself as well. But this mod adds well over 30 new ideals into your game, and each new animation is handpicked. And when I say handpicked, I mean placed on NPCs manually, not that the animations were stolen from somewhere. And they also vary from walking forward to even just moving in place while in dialogue. Also, let me know down in the comments if you say idle or ideal. It can go both ways. But moving on to the next mod, which is called Dramatic Inertia. This mod makes it so when you move or when NPCs move in a certain direction, your body will first lean in that direction first before actually moving. So it simulates a type of leaning, in my opinion. Then you will proceed to walk, and then it turns into a jog that you usually see in New Vegas. So it's a pretty simple mod. The only unfortunate part about this though is that there is no patch for enhanced movement or 360 movement, considering this is still kind of new. But maybe we'll see it in the future, because I believe if we combine all three of these, we'll probably get the most advanced movement in New Vegas. Next we got look menu for Fallout New Vegas. I will admit this one is pretty old. When this mod came out I was about 15. This mod allows for a similar loot system to Fallout 4, so instead of having to actually open an item, a menu will appear on the side of it, allowing you to take the items inside without wasting any of your time. Pretty much makes looting so much easier. But I will say this mod hasn't been updated in a while and has quite a few bug reports. I haven't experienced any issues myself per se, but I will say if you use controller to check the comment section and grab the patch from the Berg is real, if you use controller only. This is just my personal recommendation if you can get this up and running like me. Otherwise, we can move on to the real mod I wanted to bring up, which is B42 Loot Animated Physical Item Pickup. This mod does exactly what you think it does, since pretty much the title explained everything. It allows for you to view your character as you pick up items or steal clutter, which I know all of you do because this is Fallout at this point. Don't get me wrong though, this isn't super fancy. You're not going to see your character have 4K animations for this, but for how simple and effective it is, it's a great mod. Especially if you were just looking for a bit more immersion, and if you pair with animated ingestibles, then you can actually see yourself picking up the item and also see yourself eating it in first and third person. You can also customize this a little bit in any file if you know what you're doing, but I usually leave that stuff alone. Another mod I recommend trying is JSRS Sound Mod 2.0. This is the mod I usually use in my Fallout 4 and during showcases. People usually love it and ask what it is, so I figured it would be amazing in New Vegas, and it definitely is. And it pretty much has patches for all the major gun replacers that people use. Not that I'm currently using one, since I still try and have a bit of the vanilla look, just because I haven't did everything in New Vegas yet. But here are a few examples. So as you can see, the difference between vanilla sounds in this mod is definitely noticeable, and that's exactly why I recommended it. And like I also said, this mod does have patches for weapon replacers on New Vegas mods, so make sure you choose what you have in installation, or you'll think this mod doesn't work. Another super immersive mod I had to mention is called Bad Touch. This mod makes it so when you run into certain things such as a fire or electricity or barbed wire, your character will take damage. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I first started in New Vegas, I ran into barbed wire just to see how much damage it would do. Kinda like you jump from high places in a new game to see if there's fall damage, and I was kinda surprised to see that there was no damage with barbed wire. So I had to get this mod, if not for anything else, just to make it so wire was actually effective. There's two types of damage with this mod. There's the continuous version for damage such as fire or shock, and then there's the instantaneous like broken glass or barbed wire, which is not included in the minimalist preset. That one just has the fire and shock, which is kind of boring. The perfect mod to pair with this mod though is the newer mod called Radiation Visuals. This mod has new visuals for you to see when your character is inside of a radiated area and taking damage. This isn't a fun type of mod per se. There is nothing really more to this than just making it more realistic, because this shouldn't change the way that you play the game in any way. It just makes exploring a little more enjoyable. So maybe it is a bit of a fun mod, and it's also ESPless, so you won't notice it inside your mod list. This mod might be a little too much for some people because some people hate effects on the screen, and honestly I agree. And that's why you can disable certain effects that you don't like. Pretty much up to you what you do and don't see with this mod. Next mod just to get away from Wombat is a mod called Simple Night Vision. This mod is a must-have for people playing in a darker New Vegas, like you made your environment dark for some reason. This mod is a toggle night vision and thermal imaging to any power armor helmet, but you can pretty much add it to any headgear with keyword support. The two modes have their pluses and downsides, like the thermal imaging lets you see enemies much easier, but it's harder to see what's in the background since it makes everything else darker, especially if they have light around their character, then that will make it almost impossible to see them. While the night vision lets you see more of the environment, but the enemies will kind of blend in with the environment as well since they won't be highlighted. So neither of these are perfect or overpowered, but it definitely expands on the stealth in this game. And after that mod, we're going right back to Wombat, I guess with the mod called NPCs Sprint. This lets NPCs sprint when in combat. Well, the only ones that will be sprinting is the ones with melee weapons, because it just doesn't seem fair that the player can sprint now with all the mods I just recommended if you decide to download them. So this mod will balance that out a little bit for NPCs that need to be close to deal damage, otherwise they will become useless. But this will make combat much harder. I mean, that's probably the way it's meant to be anyway though. And just one last mod. This mod is completely optional though, but I love it. This mod is called Decaying Ferals. This mod completely retextures the ghouls in New Vegas, making them actually look quite horrifying, like they once had human skin and decayed over time. Which would make sense considering that is technically what a feral ghoul is, or any other regular ghoul. So now they look the part, but like I said, this is completely optional. I just thought I'd mention it since it is one of my favorite mods now. The only thing that might throw you off is that this doesn't touch regular ghouls like the ones that still have their minds, just the ones that attack you on sight. But that was it for my first Fallout New Vegas showcase. I know I still barely know anything about New Vegas, maybe about 15%, and I haven't even touched CTW, so maybe even less. But I will soon, but as of right now, make sure you leave a like on the video, and let me know down in the comments about everything that I got and said wrong about this game. But as of right now, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.